Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar and workshop series conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming MCS exams happening in February 2025. My name is Nick and I'm one of the lead tutors and evaluators for MCS at TCS. So let's look at the session outcomes. First things first, I'm going to share some technical details pertaining to your MCS exam. If you're coming through an exemption route, this might be your first CIMA case study. If that is the case, you need to gain a good understanding of how the exam is structured, how your knowledge is tested, and what type of answers you're supposed to develop with the intention of gaining the best amount of marks. So, considering all these elements, I will be providing an overview into the MCS exam in the first part of today's session. And in the second part, I will be sharing an 8-week study plan with you. And if you stick to the study plan, you can easily pass the MCS exam. And on top of that, you can conduct your preparations in a stress-free environment. All right. So before we get into the nitty-gritties, let me quickly remind you of the upcoming webinars and workshops which we have scheduled for you. From this week until your examination week, there are 8 weeks in total. Across these 8 weeks, every weekend, we are conducting a webinar or a workshop. And these webinars and workshops are conducted free of charge. So make use of these free resources which we offer and get in touch with me on a weekly basis, because then you can easily keep tabs about your performance as well as preparation. And if you have any questions or concerns, especially after attempting the weekly mock exam, you can raise these questions and concerns at the webinar and get them answered at the webinars and workshops and get them answered. So we are conducting the first webinar in which I'm going to highlight a study technique. The second webinar is happening on the 29th of December, where I will be conducting a pre-scene analysis. Along with it, I will also be conducting an industry analysis. And the third webinar, which is the most important webinar out of the 4 webinars which we have scheduled, is the answering technique webinar, in which I'm going to teach you answering and time management techniques. Not just these techniques will be taught, I will also highlight how you should implement these techniques by taking you through one of the mock exams which we have developed for the sitting happening in February 2025. And in the fourth webinar, I will be highlighting certain tips or sharing some tips with you with the intention of making sure that you improve your confidence, improve your positivity when conducting your preparations, because it's of utmost importance that you create a higher level of confidence about your skill set when conducting preparations. If so, it will reflect on the quality of your answers. And on top of that, I will also share some stress management techniques with you at the fourth webinar. And once we kickstart the workshop series, I will be taking you through, myself as well as Jared, our co-tutor for MCS, will be taking you through certain mock exams which we have developed, focusing on each syllabus area, F2, P2, and E2 syllabi, thereby ensuring that you gain a good understanding of how to tackle each type of question, each type of syllabus element at your examination. And at these workshops, we will be opening up for Q&A sessions, because as per our 8-week study plan, by the time we are commencing the workshop series, you should be done with at least 1 or 2 mock exams. So definitely you will have questions, you will have doubts. You can get these cleared at these Q&A sessions, which will be conducted at these workshops. And the final workshop, which happens 2 or 3 days before the exam, I will be sharing last-minute tips with you to make sure that you walk into your exam with a high level of confidence, believing in yourself, believing in your skill set. If so, you will easily pass the MCS exam. So make use of these free resources we offer and get in touch with us on a weekly basis, which is the best way to keep track about your performance and get all your questions and queries answered. All right, so let's look at how you land at MCS. You might be coming through the CIMA general route. If so, the MCS exam is going to be a walk in the park for you. Why am I saying it? Because you are already done with the OCS exam, so you know how your knowledge is tested at the MCS exam, because you have already completed one case study examination, CIMA case study examination. The only difference between OCS and MCS is the way in which your knowledge is tested at the OCS exam. 85% of the questions are intended to test your theoretical knowledge, so it's a theory heavy examination. However, at the MCS exam, things are a bit different. 50% of weightage is provided towards testing your theoretical knowledge, and 50% of weightage is provided towards testing your application skills and practical decision making skills. So just like what you did at OCS, you cannot try to memorize the answers, memorize answer structures, and try to replicate it at your real examination. Instead, at this exam, some type of practicality comes in. So when attempting mock exams and when conducting your revision focused on these mock exams, your objective should be to understand the logic behind each answer rather than trying to memorize answers. And if you're coming through the general route, you have already completed completed your OTQ. So because of that, you already know the theoretical concepts. You have championed the theoretical concepts. You simply need to focus on improving your application skills. And there are another set of students coming through the exemption routes, such as the Master's Gateway program and the Finance Leadership program, or simply put, the FLP route. So if you're coming through an exemption route, you'd have to work a bit harder compared to someone who is coming through the general route. Why is this the case? Because you will definitely have knowledge gaps. You need to learn all theoretical elements which are covered in your E2, F2, and P2 syllabi. And on top of that, you need to work on your application skills as well. However, you need not worry. We have developed a separate study package primarily focused on those who are coming through the exemption route. And we have come up with a set of study resources to make sure that you learn theory and significantly improve your application skills within a short period of time, rather than you having to go through pages and pages of theoretical information, which appears in study texts, various different study notes and whatnot. You need not, spend a lot of time trying to learn theory, because we have already developed a set of videos to bridge this gap pertaining to theoretical issues. So if you're coming through the general route, you simply need to work on your application skills. If you're coming through the exemption routes, you need to learn theory and at the same time improve your application skills. Yet you need not worry. We have come up with study resources to teach you theory within a limited amount of time, so that you can, by attempting the mock exams on a weekly basis, you can easily improve your chances of passing the MCS exam. Once I take you through the 8-week study plan, you will understand what I am talking about. All right, so your examination is a PC-based examination. You can attempt the exam at home, or you can attempt the exam at an examination center. So if you're planning to attempt the exam at home, please make sure that your internet is stable and you are not faced with power cuts. If you are faced with power cuts and if your internet is bad, don't attempt the exam at home, because these technical issues will throw you off your exam strategy, because it's not easy to attempt the entire exam, sticking to an answering and time management technique. You'd have to manage your stress levels as well. So, and at the same time, you need to address each and every requirement. So doing all these things within 3 hours is not an easy task. On top of it, if you are exposed to technical issues, technical difficulties, then your stress levels will further increase. So in order to avoid unnecessary stressful situations, I want you guys, if you are faced with power cuts or internet issues, attempt the exam at an examination center. And looking at the total time allocation of your examination, it's 3 hours, and your paper is divided into 4 main tasks, and each task carries a time allocation of 45 minutes. So let me quickly show you how your paper will look, or what your paper will look like. So your paper is divided into 4 main tasks, and the time allocation for each task is 45 minutes. And let's assume you are done with the first 45 minutes, which means that you are done with section number 1. Once the first 45 minutes expire, you will be directed to section number 2. And once you are in section number 2, you cannot go back to section number 1. So when trying to manage your time, there's absolutely no point of thinking in terms of managing 3 hours. Instead, you need to think about 4 fractions of 45 minutes each, or 4 sections which comprises of 2 or 3 subtasks, which has a time allocation of 45 minutes each. So once you're done with the first section, first 45 minutes, you'll be directed to section number 2. And once the 45 minutes which is allocated to section number 2 expires, you'll be directed to section number 3, and likewise. And once you are in, let's assume you are in section number 3, you cannot, when you are in section number 3, you cannot go back to section number 1 or 2. You can only go forward to section number 4. And once you are in section number 4, you can't go back to sections 1, 2, or 3. So that's how this examination is structured. And in each section, you will see 2 or 3 subtasks, and each subtask carries a different weightage. You'd understand what these weightages are, and based on these weightages, how to manage your time, how to develop your answers, because all these things will be taught in the third webinar, answering technique. So looking at the questions, so the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So, it's as if you walk into office and open your computer, or switch on your computer, or open your laptop, and you check your emails, and you have received an email from one of your managers. Usually, you'd see questions where your finance manager gets in touch with you via email. Why is this the case? Because as per your pre-scene, your boss is the senior finance manager will be sending you an email, because as per your pre-scene, your boss is the senior finance manager. So you are playing the role of a finance manager, and you are directly reporting to the senior finance manager. So there will be a certain scenario which indicates some type of an issue the company is facing at the moment, or some type of an opportunity the company tries to exploit at the moment. And this scenario will be connected with the pre-scene document, or the information which appears within the pre-scene. And when developing your answers, you need to consider what appeared in the pre-scene as well as the scenario. And you need to develop answers which are totally aligned with the information provided in each scenario. And your knowledge is tested via 2 or 3 subtasks which appear within each section. So in this section number 1, there are 2 subtasks, as you can see, and your knowledge is tested in a practical sense. So your questions are practical. So as I mentioned earlier, the examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So just like what you'd do at office, right after reading through the scenario and going through the attachments to gain a better understanding of additional information, you are supposed to develop your answers. So when developing answers, I'm sorry, the suggested answer, give me a second, please. I will show you a suggested answer as well, which indicates the way in which you should develop your answer. So you should develop your answers in paragraph form. You should not develop answers in single-line sentences or bullet points. Instead, you need to develop answers in paragraphs. So all these things will be taught. How to do all these things will be taught at the third webinar, in which I'm going to teach you answering and time management techniques. So the time allocation is 3 hours in total, and the entire paper is divided into 4 tasks, and each task carries a time allocation of 45 minutes each. And in order to pass this examination, you need to get 80 out of 150, or 54%. So this is easily achievable if you stick to the study plan. And I'm going to explain the study plan in a while as part of this webinar. All right, so let's try to understand what your role is, what your responsibilities are. So at this level, if you completed your OCS exam, you were supposed to play the role of a finance officer, and the finance officer is located at the operational level, or the lowest level of your chosen organization. So at this stage, you have, you are promoted to the position of finance manager. So the finance manager is located at the second level of the organization, or the management level. So you are the link between the strategic level and the operational level employees. So those who are at the strategic level, these are the board members. They are involved with long-term decision making. They, when being engaged with long-term decision making, they adopt something called an outside in approach. What is an outside in approach? This is a situation where the decision makers at board level always should think about how their decisions will impact the company's connected and external stakeholders, and how their decisions will impact the external environment. So with that in mind, board level, or board members will always have to think about, okay, as per our recommendations, as per our evaluations, how will it impact our shareholders, our customers, our competitors, connected stakeholders such as our suppliers and whatnot. So all these things should be thought of when being involved with long-term decision making. And what are the operational level employees up to? The operational level employees, who are at the lowest level of the organization, are involved with implementing the decisions which are taken by board members. So board members think about the long run. However, in order to achieve this long-term goal, we have to, take steps or take action on a daily basis, and implementing these implementing these plans on a daily basis is the responsibility of operational level employees. And you are the link between the strategic level and the operational level. So you need to make sure that the operational level individuals are doing their job properly. So you need to provide leadership. You need to motivate these individuals. If faced with conflicts and whatnot, you need to make sure that you overcome all these conflicts. So almost all the elements which are covered within your E2 syllabus comes into play. And on top of that, you need to be conversant with how to manage risks, and how our group financial statements or group accounts will be impacted, considering various different information. So you have to be totally conversant with your E2, F2, and P2 syllabi. And on top of that, not just providing leadership to the operational level employees is your responsibility. You need to also communicate with strategic level or board level decision makers. So you are looking into the operational aspects of the company, as well as you are communicating with the top level decision makers. So as a finance manager, at this exam, you should have a higher level of application and practical thinking. So theories will be tested, and on top of that, practical decision making will also be tested. So as I mentioned earlier, 50% of your questions will be focused on testing your theoretical knowledge, and 50% of your questions will be focused on testing your practical decision making or practical application skills. So let me quickly take you to the mock exam which I showed you a while back. So let's look at the questions and try and understand, how or what type of, give me a second, please. Someone's mic is on. All right, so let's look at these two requirements to see how what type of theoretical elements are tested, or how theories are tested, and on top of that, how application skills are tested at your exam. So if you look at the first requirement, firstly, evaluate the implications of entering into the business of manufacturing and selling of solar panel windows on Shinyglas's business model. So business models are covered in your E2 syllabus. So if you don't know what a business model is, then you can't get any marks for this requirement. So it's of utmost importance that you know your theory about business models. Just knowing your E2 theory won't help you. You need to also be conversant with the business model of Shinyglas, which appears within your pre-seen document. So you need to know your theory about business models, which appears within your E2 syllabus. And on top of that, you need to know the current business model of Shinyglas. And on top of that, now application comes into play. And on top of that, you need to know how the scenarios information considering the scenarios information, you need to know how it will impact or change the existing business model of Shinyglas. So you need to know your theory, you need to know what appears within your pre-seen document, and you need to work on your application skills. Just knowing theory won't help you. Just knowing pre-seen information won't help you. Instead, you need to combine theories, pre-seen information, as well as application skills to come up with high quality answers and gain the best amount of marks. So let's look at the second subtask. Secondly, identify and explain the business risks that can arise from entering into the new line of business. So business risks are covered within your P2 syllabus. So you need to be conversant with what appears within the P2 syllabus. And on top of that, you need to work on your application skills because you need to consider what's highlighted within the scenario and the reference material and identify risks and explain how these risks will impact us. So you need to know your theory, and at the same time, you need to work on your application skills. So when working on your application skills, you need to know what Shinyglas or your company on which your knowledge will be tested at the upcoming MCS exam, what your company is up to. You need to know these things. Without knowing what your company is up to, you cannot evaluate the risks, because when evaluating the risks, you need to consider what's highlighted within the scenario and the reference material. And on top of that, you need to know what the company is up to at the moment. All right, so I hope you gained a good understanding of how your theoretical knowledge as well as application skills are tested. And I think that you know what you need to do when it comes to conducting preparation. So rather than spending a lot of time to go through theoretical concepts, I will take you through the study plan, then you'd understand what I'm talking about. So rather than spending a lot of time on theoretical knowledge or trying to gain theoretical knowledge, your main objective should be to attempt mock exams and conduct your revision focused on these mock exams, because if you do, whilst learning theory, you are in a position to improve your application skills. All right, so that's that. And looking at the exam, at this exam, information is provided about a fictitious company in advance via something called a pre-seen document. So I hope you have already gone through the pre-seen document, which is relevant for February 2024 and November 2024 sittings. So this time's pre-seen is based on a company which is known as Shinyglas. So this is a fictitious company located within a fictitious industry and a fictitious country. So there's absolutely no point of you researching about real life companies, because if you try to do so, you'd be wasting a lot of time. Instead, you should provide prominence towards, so you should really focus on understanding your pre-seen document, because via the pre-seen document, the examiner shares information about your industry, your company's internal dynamics, as well as your company's financial performance, along with your closest competitors' financial performance. So you need to really understand the information which appears within your pre-seen, rather than trying to gain a good understanding of what real life companies go through within your chosen industry. And in the exam, you are required to address issues or questions relating to the managerial aspects of the company. So as I mentioned earlier, you are playing the role of a finance manager, and you are the link between the board members and the operational level employees. And when testing your knowledge, as I showed you a while back, the examiner will come up with a certain scenario along with a reference material. And in each section, you will see 2 or 3 subtasks. And within these subtasks, the questions will appear. And when developing these questions, the examiner is testing whether you have an appropriate level of knowledge about the company and its industry. So that's exactly why you need to be really conversant about what appears within your pre-seen document. And on top of that, the examiner tests whether you have learned something via your E2, P2, and F2 syllabi, not just learned theories. Instead, the examiner is also looking at whether you have the necessary application skills to apply theoretical knowledge which you have gained by going through E2, F2, and P2 syllabi. So you really need to work on your application skills, because if you provide highly theoretical answers, you won't get any marks at this examination, because just think that you are actually playing the role of a finance manager. So if you are the finance manager of a company, and if you receive an email from a board member or the senior finance manager or any other senior manager, will you talk a lot about theories, or will you start addressing the requirement? So if you are to be a successful finance manager, there's absolutely no point of reiterating theories within your answers. Instead, you should develop answers or develop your responses which are totally aligned with the requirement, considering the information which is shared with you. So you need to adhere to a similar approach in order to gain good marks at this exam. So the examiner is testing your knowledge about the company and its industry, and the examiner is testing whether you have gained some knowledge about your E2, P2, and F2 syllabi, and on top of that, whether you have the necessary application skills. Okay, so in the upcoming 8 weeks, this is your to-do list. First things first, you are supposed to read something called the annotated pre-scene. So you have already, I'm pretty sure you have already gone through the pre-scene document, but we at TCS, we have taken a step further, and we have come up with tutor annotations with the intention of making your life easy when understanding your pre-scene document. So this is what a typical pre-scene document will look like. So this is the pre-scene which we developed for the previous case study. So as you can see, each and every point is evaluated, and if you go through these set of points, this is a good summary of the entire pre-scene. So you need not worry about missing out on points or not understanding the pre-scene document, because if you read through these points which we have mentioned, you can easily gain a good understanding of the entire pre-scene, rather than having to memorize 25 to 30 pages of information which appears within your pre-scene. And on top of that, so one objective of coming up with these annotations is to summarize the entire pre-scene. And on top of that, we have also highlighted, based on the information presented in the pre-scene, we have also highlighted probable syllabus elements which can be tested. And based on these elements, we have developed our mock exams. All right, so that's exactly what you can see throughout this document. You simply need to go through these annotations to gain a good understanding of what appears within your pre-scene. So that's your first step. So your first step should be to understand your pre-scene. So with that in mind, you are supposed to read the annotated pre-scene on your own. Once you have done it, then you are supposed to watch 3 pre-scene analysis videos. And as I mentioned earlier, your pre-scene document is divided into 3 main parts. In the first part, the examiner gives you information about industry dynamics. In the second part, information about internal dynamics are shared. And in the third and final part, the financial statements of your company and its closest competitor is shared with you. So once you have watched these 3 pre-scene analysis videos, you will gain an in-depth understanding of what appears within your pre-scene. So you need not spend a lot of time to conduct your own research. You need not try and decrypt pre-scene information. We have done it for you. So simply watch these 3 pre-scene analysis videos. That is what's necessary to gain a good understanding of your entire pre-scene. And once you have gained an in-depth understanding of your pre-scene document, you have to start practicing mock exams. So when practicing mock exams, you should attempt 6 mock exams. Why 6 mock exams? Because it takes 6 mock exams or 6 mocks to cover the entire syllabus. So as I mentioned earlier, you have to be conversant about all syllabus elements which are covered within your E2, F2, and P2 syllabi. Because as I showed you, I showed you one of the mock exams. If you're clueless about business models, then you won't get any marks for the subtask, the first subtask of section number 1, which appears within our mock 1. And on top of that, if you are clueless about how to identify risks, how to categorize risks and whatnot, then you won't get any marks for the second subtask. So with the intention of making sure that you are conversant with all syllabus elements and conversant with how each syllabus area is tested at your exam, you need to attempt 6 mock exams. So, and on top of that, if you had gone through the past exam variants, you would have seen that there are 6 variants focused on each pre-scene. So why is the examiner developing 6 exam variants? Because as I mentioned earlier, it takes 6 variants to cover the entire syllabus. So replicating a similar methodology, we have developed 6 mock exams to make sure that you are conversant with all syllabus elements, how each syllabus element is tested, so that you are not testing your luck at your real exam. So you have to practice 6 exam standard mock exams, and our mock exams are both exam standard and pre-scene specific. And at the same time, you have to attend the live webinars and workshops because as I mentioned earlier, via the webinars and workshops, we are sharing some tips with you. And on top of that, you have the opportunity of getting in touch with us and keeping tabs about your performance. And if you have any questions, you can always get them addressed at these live webinars and workshops. And you have to refer to a set of slides as well. You need to go through the industry analysis and financial analysis slides. Let me quickly show you what these slides look like. So these are the slides which we have developed for a previous case study. So our industry analysis slides consist of 4 main elements. In the first part, we have defined the industry. And in the second and third parts, we have highlighted the industry trends and challenges. And based on these trends and challenges, scenarios will be developed at your real examination. And at the very end, we have shared information about real life companies, thereby sharing real world examples with you. So as I mentioned earlier, you should not spend a lot of time trying to understand what happens within your industry. Simply refer to these set of slides. Within 10 to 15 minutes, you can gain an in-depth understanding about what happens within your industry. So you need not spend a lot of time to conduct your research. We have done it for you. And at the very end of your pre-scene document, you would have seen the financial statements of your own company and its closest competitor. So as part of these financial analysis slides, we have evaluated each financial statement in depth, and we have come up with notations, and we have made sure to keep things simple so that you can easily understand what appears within each and every notation. And we have evaluated the SOPL, the SOFP, as well as at the very end, we have conducted a ratio analysis considering your company and its closest competitor. Again, we have kept things simple so that you can easily understand what happens within your company and its closest competitor in a financial sense. All right, so these are the set of industry and financial analysis slides which you need to go through when conducting your preparations. Then you need to go through the top 10 issues, likely issues slides, which indicate the most prominent syllabus elements or scenarios which can be tested at your exam based on the hints provided by the CIMA examiner via the pre-scene document. And also, you are supposed to go through the theory recaps pertinent to E2, F2, and P2 syllabi. So after attempting a mock exam, if you feel like you cannot remember a certain theoretical concept or you need to brush up your knowledge, simply go through these revision cards in a jiffy. You can learn or remind yourself about the theoretical concepts rather than you having to go through pages and pages of information which appears within your study texts. And then you are supposed to watch 20 pre-recorded masterclasses. So we have developed masterclasses focused on mocks 2 to 6. So we have not developed masterclasses for mock number 1, primarily given the fact that the workshops will be conducted based on mock number 1, so which is the free mock exam. So the workshops, since all these the important elements are covered in the workshops, we have not developed separate master classes for mock number 1 or the free mock exam. However, from mock 2 up until mock number 6, we have developed 20 master classes. In each mock exam, there are 4 sections. 4 sections into 5 mocks come up to 20 sections or 20 tasks in total. So focused on each section or task, we have developed a masterclass. And the objective of developing these masterclasses is to take you through the logic of each answer and at the same time teach you the relevant theoretical concept which is covered within the mock exams section, and on top of that to teach you application skills. So if you are coming through an exemption route, as I mentioned earlier, you will definitely have theoretical gaps or knowledge gaps. you definitely need to work on your application skills. So if you simply watch the master classes, you will learn theory and significantly improve application skills. You need not waste your time to go through theories and learn it on your own. We have done it for you. And since you are learning theory based on mock exams, you will significantly improve your application skills. So you are not just learning theory, you will also learn how to apply theories in a practical sense, which will ensure that you develop high quality answers at your real exam. And then you are supposed to refer to the answer plans of all mock exams. So usually you will get mock exams along with suggested answers. However, we at TCS, we have gone a step further and we are also sharing answer plans. So what does an answer plan look like? So this is the answer plan which we have developed for mock exam 1. And as you can see, this is a summary of the entire suggested answer. So this makes your life easy when it comes to understanding the logic behind the answer, when it comes to understanding how to structure your answer, when it comes to understanding how to bring in theoretical knowledge, how to work on your application skills, what type of pre-seen information should be brought in, and if you are bringing in pre-seen information, how to do it. And on top of that, when conducting your revision, you can easily conduct your revision by going through this set of answer plans which we have developed for all 6 mock exams. So rather than you having to go through pages and pages of suggested answers and based on it trying to understand the logic of the answer, we have done it for you. We have developed answer plans. So after attempting each mock exam, as per our study plan, you are supposed to redevelop answer plans. You will understand what answer plans are and how to develop answer plans, because we are teaching you these things in the 3rd webinar, answering technique. So after attempting each mock exam, when conducting your revision, you are supposed to redevelop answer plans. Once you have redeveloped answer plans, simply compare your fresh answer plans to the answer plans which we have provided to gain a good understanding of your shortcomings and to significantly improve the quality of your answers. So by having access to these short notes or answer plans, your life becomes extremely easy. And when conducting your preparations after attempting each mock exam, when conducting revision, your objective should be to try and replicate these type of answer plans. If so, you are well poised to gain more than 80 marks at your real examination. And on top of that, you are supposed to go through tutor feedback, which we offer. We offer tutor feedback for the last 3 mock exams. So the first 3 mocks are there to get your bearings with your answering and time management technique, because as per our time management technique, you are supposed to develop something called an answer plan focused on each section, allocating something like 20 minutes of your time. But when you're trying to do it for the first time, it will take you 40 to 45 minutes. So you have to practice these techniques over and over when attempting the mock exams to champion these techniques. So that's why we are not providing tutor feedback for the first three mock exams, because you will be struggling with time management and answer planning technique. However, by the time you are at mock number 4, you will get your bearings with the answering and time management techniques. And because of that, you will be in a position to provide well-structured and quality answers. So focused on these last 3 mock exams, we are providing tutor feedback. So let me quickly show you the type of feedback we provide at TCS. So as you can see, the entire answer script is marked, and we have evaluated each and every point highlighted by the student. And if there are issues, we have highlighted what the issue is. And we have also come up with recommendations to overcome these issues. All right, so throughout the answer script, you can see the type of feedback which we have offered. And at the very end, we provide mark allocations on a subtask by subtask basis. And we have also indicated a success rate. And by looking at the success rate, you can easily understand the subtasks where you have done a good job, and the subtasks which are highlighted in yellow, which indicate that your performance is substandard. So after receiving tutor feedback, your job, when it comes to conducting revision, your job is to redevelop answer plans. So when redeveloping answer plans, rather than redeveloping the answer plan focused on the entire mock exam, you simply need to focus on the subtasks which are highlighted in yellow. If you adhere to such process, you are solely focusing your attention towards your shortcomings and taking steps to overcome your shortcomings. So that's the best type of revision you should do, rather than wasting 3 hours of your time once more and trying to attempt the entire mock exam. Simply focus your attention towards redeveloping answer plans. And when it comes to redeveloping answer plans, don't redevelop answer plans focused on the entire mock exam. Instead, once you have received tutor feedback, focus on the subtasks which are highlighted in yellow. That's the best way to overcome your shortcomings. All right, so that's the type of feedback you'd receive at TCS. So this is your to-do list. You might think that this is a long list. However, you are supposed to go through all these things or conduct all these activities within 8 weeks. So if you stick to our 8-week study plan, you are in a position to cover all these elements in a stress-free environment. All right, so before we move on to our 8-week study plan, let me quickly tell you what we offer at TCS. So I'm on the MCS page, and by clicking on this button, you can create a free user account. Via the free user account, you will gain access to the recorded versions of the weekly webinars and workshops which we conduct. And on top of that, you will gain access to the free mock exam along with its suggested answer and the answer plan. And you will also have the opportunity of attempting the free mock exam under exam conditions via TCS's exam platform. So we have developed an exam platform which is akin to the Pearson VUE system, on which you will attempt your real exam. So when attempting your free mock exam, you can do it under exam conditions, which gives you the opportunity to test your answering and time management techniques. And on top of that, you will understand what your shortcomings are. Additionally, you will be exposed to exam stress. It's best that you are exposed to exam stress when conducting your preparations, when attempting your mock exams, rather than at your real exam. Because when attempting mock exams, if you are exposed to exam stress and if you take steps to overcome these stressful situations, you will successfully manage your stress levels at your real exam. And these stress management techniques will be taught in the 4th webinar, exam prep. And if you're interested in investing on our paid content, click on this button and check out our sample material before you invest on paid content. And if you're yet to join the MCS WhatsApp group, click on this button and join it. Via this group, we will be sharing hordes of free content. And on top of that, you can engage with group learning. And if there are major questions, I will myself as well as Jared will always address your questions and concerns, thereby assisting you guys. And via this WhatsApp group, we will also keep you informed about the weekly webinars and workshops, the commencement times. We will share the access links and whatnot via this WhatsApp group. So if you're yet to join it, simply click on this button to join our WhatsApp group. And talking about what we offer 2 main packages, the value pack and the premium pack. The value pack is designed for those who had championed theory, or those who are coming through the general route, and those who have completed their OTQ exam. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are coming through the general route and if you have completed your OTQs, you have already learned theory. When conducting preparations, you simply need to focus on improving your application skills. So under the value pack, you'd gain access to the recordings of all webinars and workshops, the 6 mock exams with suggested answers. So the first mock exam is shared with you free of charge. However, the remaining 5 mock exams are included within paid content. So if you go for the value pack, you will gain access to all 6 mock exams. And when developing these mock exams, as I mentioned earlier, we have made sure to cover all syllabus elements which appear within your E2, F2, and P2 syllabi. And you'd also gain access to the pre-scene analysis videos, 3 videos in total. And after you had watched these pre-scene analysis videos, you'd gain an in-depth understanding of what appears within your pre-scene. And you'd also get your hands on the annotated pre-scene, the industry and financial analysis slides. I showed you what these documents look like a while back. And you'd also gain access to the top 10 likely issue slides, the case study familiarization kit. So within 10 to 15 minutes, you can gain an in-depth understanding about the technicalities behind your examination by going through this document, which is our case study familiarization kit. Then you'd also gain access to a tutor-managed live chat and OTQ revision cards. So as mentioned previously, the value pack is designed for those who are coming through the general route. So after you had attempted a mock exam, if you feel that you cannot remember a certain theoretical concept, or if you feel that you need to gain a better understanding about a certain theoretical concept which appeared within the mock exam which you just attempted, simply go through the OTQ revision cards. In a jiffy, you are in a position to brush up your knowledge and improve your understanding. Because you have already learned theory, you need not go through theory from scratch. Instead, it's simply a matter of brushing up your theoretical knowledge and focusing, directing a high level of attention towards improving your application skills. So the value pack is for a price at £249. All right, so talking about the premium pack, this is designed for those who are coming through the exemption routes and at the same time focused on those who had failed the MCS exam previously. So both type of students, those who are coming through the exemptions as well as those who had failed previously, both sets of students have the same problem. There are gaps in theoretical knowledge and application skills. So we have developed an additional set of resources and included these resources under the premium pack with the intention of teaching you theory and significantly helping you to significantly improve your application skills. So on top of what appears within the value pack, you will also gain access to the online mock exam platform via the premium package. So as I mentioned earlier, we have developed a mock exam platform which is akin to the Pearson VUE system. So you have the chance of attempting all 6 mock exams under exam conditions, which is the best way to master your answering and time management techniques, and at the same time master your stress management techniques. So you can attempt all 6 mock exams under real exam conditions by gaining access to the premium content. Then you will also gain access to one-on-one tutor feedback on the last 3 mock exams. You saw what type of feedback is offered by TCS. And you will also gain access to the answer plans of all mocks. This is a lifesaver because it will save you a lot of time rather than you having to go through pages and pages of suggested answers. Once you have these answer structures, answer plans, or answer summaries, your life becomes easy because then your job is to redevelop answer plans. And once you have redeveloped answer plans, compare your fresh answer plans to the answer plans shared with us to further improve the quality of your answer. You will also gain access to 20 masterclasses. So we have developed these masterclasses with 3 objectives in mind. Number 1 is to take you through the logic of each answer. Objective 2 is to teach you the theoretical concepts covered within each section. And objective number 3 is to help you improve your application skills. So once you have gained access to these 20 masterclasses, you need not worry about theoretical knowledge, gaps in theoretical knowledge, issues with application, because we have covered them within these 20 masterclasses. And once you have access to all this content, you will pass for sure, hence the pass guarantee. So if you invest on the premium pack and end up failing, you will gain access to the premium content in your subsequent sitting free of charge. However, in order to claim the pass guarantee, you have to complete these 3 requirements. You have to complete all 6 mock exams. If not, you will be testing your luck at your real exam. As I mentioned earlier, in order to be conversant about how each syllabus element is tested at your exam, you have to attempt all 6 mocks, or else we cannot guarantee your pass. And when attempting these 6 mock exams, you are not supposed to go through the suggested answers, the answer plans, or the master classes. Instead, you have to attempt each mock exam on your own. Try to give your best shot because that's the best way to understand your shortcomings. If you do not understand your shortcomings, you cannot work towards improving your skill set. So there's absolutely no point of going through the answers, because if you do so, you'd be cheating yourself. So rather than going through the answer plans, the suggested answers, or the master classes, attempt each mock exam on your own, because once you have attempted each mock exam on your own, you will understand your shortcomings, and when conducting your revision, you can take steps to overcome your shortcomings. You can take steps to improve your theoretical knowledge and application skills. And you are supposed to meet the performance criteria of 40% or higher. You need to score 40% or higher, focused on the last 3 mock exams. We have come up with this performance criteria to make sure that you are serious. You do a serious job, a good job when attempting the last 3 mock exams, especially given the fact that we are providing tutor feedback. So once you have completed these 3 requirements, you will not fail this exam. That is why we are providing a pass guarantee under the premium package. So the premium pack is priced at £799, which can be paid in 2 installments of £399 each, or you can opt to pay in full. And if so, you will save £100 and the price will be just £699. You can click on either of these buttons and invest on your preferred content. All right. So having said that, let's move on to the study plan. So as I mentioned earlier, the second objective of this session is to take you through an 8-week study plan, and this study plan can be accessed via our website itself. All right. So in week number 1, let's see what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to refer to the OTQ theory recaps. So go through theory recaps, especially focusing on your E2 and P2 syllabi for now. Okay, so before you start attempting mock exams, this is not something which is extremely serious. Don't spend a lot of time on this. Simply, glance through the revision cards, because when attempting mock exams, you will cover the same theoretical concepts and you will understand how to work on your application skills. So for now, since we are in week number 1, simply go through the OTQ revision cards or the theory recaps and refer to the MCS familiarization kit. So in order to do all these things, you need to allocate 8 hours of study time within this week. And week number 2 is dedicated towards the pre-scene document, understanding the pre-scene document. So you are supposed to attend the second webinar, pre-scene analysis, which is happening on the 29th of December, which is next Sunday. Then you'd understand how to approach the pre-scene document. Then watch the pre-scene analysis videos to gain an in-depth understanding about your industry, your internal dynamics of your chosen company and its financial performance. Then after you had watched these pre-scene analysis videos, refer to the annotated pre-scene on your own, thereby conducting your own revision. Then refer to the industry and financial analysis slides. So within week number 2, you are supposed to solely focus your attention towards the pre-scene document. So once you have understood the pre-scene in depth, in week number 3, you have to kickstart attempting mock exams. So before you attempt any mock exam, I want you to attend the 3rd webinar, because there's absolutely no point of attempting mocks without learning answering and time management techniques. Because when attempting each mock exam, one of your objectives should be to practice answering and time management techniques. If so, you will have the capability of developing well-structured answers, high-quality answers, which are totally aligned with scenarios information, which are totally aligned with the requirement. And at the same time, you will never run out of time at your real exam. So first things first, you need to learn these techniques. Once you have learned these techniques, test your knowledge by attempting mock number 1, which is our free mock exam via the exam platform under exam conditions. And once you have attempted mock number 1, within the same week, attempt mock number 2 as well via our exam platform. Once you have attempted mock number 2, watch the 4 master classes which we have developed, focus on mock number 2 in order to learn the logic behind each answer, in order to learn the theoretical concepts which are covered within mock number 2, and also to significantly improve your application skills. And once you have learned theory, and once you know what to do with regards to application, you are supposed to redevelop answer plans focused on mock number 2. So we have developed a study system where you are attempting a mock exam, and focused on the same mock exam, you are conducting revision. And when it comes to conducting revision, you are supposed to watch the master classes. That's when you'd learn theory and application. And once you have learned theory and application, you have to test your knowledge once more. You need to, see for yourself whether you have learned something by watching the master classes. That is why you are supposed to redevelop answer plans focused on the same mock exam. And once you have redeveloped fresh answer plans, compare them to the answer plans which are shared with you, which are TCS's answer plans to further understand your shortcomings, overcome your shortcomings, and improve the quality of your answers. And within week number 4, you are supposed to adhere to a similar methodology. The only difference is the fact that you are supposed to attempt mock number 3. So attempt mock number 3 via the exam platform. And once you have attempted the mock, you need to learn your theories and improve your application skills. With that in mind, watch the 4 master classes. And once you have learned your theory and application, test your knowledge once more by redeveloping answer plans focused on mock number 3. And from week 5 onwards, you will receive tutor feedback. So in week 5, you are supposed to attempt mock number 4, watch the master classes and redevelop answer plans. And within 3 days, you will receive tutor feedback. And once you have received tutor feedback, go through the tutor feedback to gain an in-depth understanding of your shortcomings and to understand what you need to do to overcome these shortcomings. And by looking at the mark allocations, by looking at the success rate, focus on the subtasks which are highlighted in yellow and develop answer plans focused on these subtasks in order to further improve your skill set, which will ensure that you gain extremely good marks at your real exam. And a similar approach should be adhered to in week number 6, in which you need to focus your attention towards mock number 5. And in week number 7, you are supposed to do the last mock exam, which is mock number 6. And focused on this mock exam, you are supposed to conduct your revision. And within the 8th week, you are supposed to conduct your revision. You should be relaxing closer to the exam rather than trying to attempt mock exams, redevelop answer plans, and whatnot. So in the 8th week, you are supposed to attend the final workshop where I will be sharing last-minute tips with you, and simply refer to the answer plans of all 6 mock exams within the 8th week. And when you are doing so, it's as if you are going through the entire syllabus. And on top of that, it's as if you are going through all mock exams within one single day. You can take 2 or 3 days if you want as well to do this with regards to referring to answer plans. So simply refer to the answer plans. Do not focus your attention towards redeveloping answer plans, because by the time you're done with week number 7, you have already redeveloped answer plans over and over. So there's absolutely no point of doing it in the 8th week, the final week. Instead, you are simply supposed to refer to the answer plans and reread the annotated pre-scene one last time, and stop preparations a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well. So if your exam is on Thursday, you have to stop all your work by Tuesday night. Why am I saying this? Because it's best that you are well rested on Wednesday, both physically and mentally, because the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real-life corporate environment. So it's as if you are walking into office on a Monday. So if you were up till late on Sunday, if you were exposed to extreme levels of stress on Sunday, then can you succeed or successfully carry out your responsibilities on Monday? You can't. So you need to be well rested before the exam. That's exactly why I am asking you guys to start relaxing a week before the exam. So during the 8th week, you are simply conducting your revision, going through a set of revision answer plans, rereading the annotated pre-scene. Other than that, you are not supposed to attempt mock exams or redevelop answer plans. And you are supposed to stop all your work a day prior to the exam. So you are supposed to rest well. You are supposed to eat properly and sleep properly. If so, you can walk into the exam with an open mind, because if you have a high level of open-mindedness, you will get the best amount of marks at your real examination. So I've seen students right before the exam, even before walking into the examination center, going through mock exams, trying to attempt mock exams and whatnot, going through revision cards. There's absolutely no point of doing these things, because at the exam, the examiner is trying to check whether you have learned your theories, and at the same time whether you are capable of applying these theories considering the information at hand. So in order to do this in the most successful manner, you have to be open-minded. And the best way to achieve a high level of open-mindedness is to start relaxing a week before the exam. Why am I saying this? Because most students out there, 99% of the students will be scrambling for time during the last week, because most students wait until the last moment, last 2 weeks to start their preparations. However, if you stick to the study plan, you are supposed to start preparations within this week. If you do so, you are in a position to attempt all 6 mock exams and complete the entire to-do list in a stress-free environment. And if you do so, you will be relaxing a week before the exam when all the other students are exposed to extreme levels of stress. You will be relaxing. Okay. And let's try to understand how to approach each week. So I don't want you to do anything on a Monday, because Mondays are usually hectic at office. So it's best that you attempt a mock exam on Tuesday. So let's assume you attempt mock number 5 on Tuesday. Okay. So on Tuesday, attempt the mock exam. On Wednesday, watch the master classes to learn theories and application skills. And on Thursday, redevelop answer plans. And by Friday, you will receive tutor feedback. And on the same day, once you have received tutor feedback, again, develop answer plans focused on the subtasks which are highlighted in yellow. Okay, that's what you are supposed to do. I want you guys to relax towards the weekend, because I know for a fact that you need to spend a lot of time with your loved ones. That's the only time you have, because during the weekdays you are extremely busy. So spend your time with your loved ones. Do your household chores towards the weekend. I do not want you to conduct any preparations or focus your attention towards any preparations towards the weekend. Instead, get everything done within the weekdays. The only focus you should have towards the weekend is to attend the weekly webinar or workshop. Other than that, don't focus on CIMA during the weekend. Take a break. Okay. So on Tuesday, attempt the mock. On Wednesday, watch the master classes. On Thursday, redevelop answer plans. By Friday, you will receive tutor feedback. And on the same day, redevelop answer plans, thereby trying to overcome your issues. That's the only thing which you're supposed to do, and do something similar in the next week as well. So on a week-by-week basis, attempt the mock exams. And when conducting your revision, you are supposed to focus your attention towards the weekly mock exam. So when you do so, on a step-by-step process, you will be walking towards your goal. You for yourself will see a significant level of improvement each week when you move ahead with the study plan which we have shared with you. And if you fall back, you still have time, you can get in touch with me. I will guide you in the correct paths. There could be emergencies, there could be situations where you cannot stick to the study plan 100%. There's absolutely nothing to worry, because as per our study plan, you are only supposed to allocate 9 hours of study time per week, out of which the strenuous thing to do is to attempt the mock exam, which is going to take 3 hours of your time, and then redevelop answer plans, which will take 1.5 to 2 hours of your time. Everything else is handled by us. Everything else is just a matter of watching a set of master classes. So if you stick to this process, you need not find a lot of time. I've seen students trying to dedicate 4 to 5 hours of study time daily. Why are students forced to do this? Because they wait until the last moment to start their preparations. And on top of that, even if you start preparations 2 weeks before the exam, you will have time to attempt all 6 mock exams. However, you won't have time to conduct your revision. So just because you attempt the 6 mocks, you will not pass your exam. Instead, after attempting each mock exam, you have to spend some time to revise your techniques, improve your techniques, thereby conducting your revision. So stick to this process, because if you do so, you will be conducting your preparations in a stress-free environment. The only strenuous week is going to be week number 3, where you need to allocate 12 hours of study time. Why is this the case? Why do you need 3 additional hours? Because you are supposed to attempt mock number 1 as well as mock number 2 within this week. Other than that, every other week, in the remaining weeks, you are supposed to allocate simply 9 hours of study time per week, of which your real responsibility is to attempt the 3-hour mock exam and redevelop answer plans. Everything else is handled by us. So although I share the study plan with students, not everyone will stick to it. Everyone will wait until the last moment to start their preparations. So avoid these shortcomings. It's best that you conduct your preparations in a stress-free environment, and the best way to do so is to stick to our study plan. And if you stick to our study plan, you will be relaxing before the exam when all the other students are going through extreme levels of stress. All right, so that's our study plan. And important dates are, you need to know that the exam entry closes on Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2025. I've done a mistake here. I'm extremely sorry about it. So on the by the 28th of January, you need to book your exam if you are planning on sitting for the MCS exams happening in February 2025. But don't wait until the last moment. Why am I asking you not to wait until the last moment? Because if you wait until the last moment, there's always a tendency to think that you don't have enough time. And if that is the case, you will postpone your sitting to May. So don't postpone your sitting. If you had already thought about attempting the exam in Feb 2025, book your exam tomorrow itself, if possible. If you have the financial resources, book your exam now itself, so that you are committing yourself to passing in February 2025. Don't wait until the exam booking deadline, because I've dealt with students who conduct their preparations according to our study plan, but they forget to book the exam before the exam exam entry closes. So don't wait until the last moment. Book your exam right now. Commit yourself. If you book your exam right now, you will definitely take steps to stick to our 8-week study plan, or else you will think about attempting the exam in May, and towards April, you will think about attempting the exam in August. So don't postpone your sitting. Attempt or book your exam right now if you are planning to sit in Feb 2025. And the exam dates are from the 12th of February to the 14th of February. All right, so I've already shared the 8-week study plan with you. So those who stick to our study plan easily pass the MCS exam. That's why we achieved a 95% pass rate for the MCS exams, which were held in August 2024. And most students who stick to this study plan achieve more than 100 marks when the pass mark is just 80. Why will these students achieve these type of marks, 100 or more marks? Simply given the fact that they are attempting mocks which cover the entire syllabus, and on top of that, they are conducting revision focused on each of these mock exams, thereby taking steps to significantly improve their skill set and improve the quality of your answers. So you can achieve the same feat if you stick to our 8-week study plan and utilize our resources. Okay, so having said that, let me start the Q&A session. I'm going to pause the recording. All right, folks, so thank you very much for those questions. I hope I addressed everything. And if you want to contact us, you can do it via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com. Go to our website and click on the contact button and drop your message. Our admin staff will get in touch with you during office hours. And if you want to email us, you can do so via info@study@tcs.com or WhatsApp us on this number. And I invite you to follow us on our social media handles, especially YouTube and TikTok, because the recorded versions of the webinars and workshops will be uploaded to our YouTube handle. And via TikTok, you'd gain access to a set of videos which is a good mind map of the entire pre-scene. So on your way to office, keep watching these TikTok videos over and over on a daily basis to keep yourself constantly reminded about what appears within your pre-scene document. And concluding thoughts is to approach MCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass, especially given the fact that the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real-life corporate environment. So having said that, it brings us to the end of today's webinar. I hope you gained something out of this session, and I expect to see you at next week's webinar. in which I'm going to conduct an industry analysis and a pre-scene analysis. So thank you very much for joining. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.